Hello everyone, it's Crystal Ether here, and today I'll be talking about the super sweet and soft foodie duo, Will and Nico. Their attribute might be a surprise as the passion attribute received a hero set just last month, but these two have the soul mechanic to help them deal with enemies quickly and get more time to enjoy the season with their friends. As usual, if you really like the card, then go for it. This is a single player game, so you should enjoy your roster how you like. Will's poised to stop and admire the scenery while his allies fight in his stead, providing attack and critical rate buffs to the team from the get-go, and later includes healing, critical damage buffs, and attack orb generation in his repertoire. With a simple skill set that ramps up Will across the entire fight, this Will card's biggest flaw is locking the critical damage buff behind 5 Passion Soul stacks, as this buff can go a long way towards achieving quicker kills and mitigating future damage. Assuming the boss dies, of course. His links and link partners are cute even though they can't be used easily outside of the set, looking at you, Nico. But this card only has to compete with this Easter and the limited 3rd anniversary versions. For players without the latter, this card is likely the go-to pick for putting Will on a team for its ease of use and its strong support capabilities even with the 0 limit breaks. There isn't much to say, this card is pretty good for a trade event set. For frame recommendations, he doesn't have many strong frame cards to choose from, as Spring Hanami Will already covers the core buffs that his frame library provides or requires the poison debuff to use. Following this, my first recommendation is Will's Summer Frame for the defense down debuff it inflicts to enemies. The secondary passive won't be usable for this hero card, but defense debuffs are rare enough that most Will cards can benefit from this accessible frame. His Firefighter frame comes to mind to cover burst damage buffs for the team, but this frame works best if you can set up your squad to take advantage of it. The buff only lasts for 1 turn after all. My last recommendation is Will's New Year's Show frame. Though it's an event limited card as well, this 3-star frame supports an ally by providing up to 35% BP gauge to that ally on a 6-turn cooldown when max limit broken, which is a nice complement alongside the rest of this event card skill set. Nico may not have the buff full course meal that Will has, but this member of the 12th Robins is still strong in his own right. He starts off weak in a battle when he lacks Passion Soul stacks and does require some critical rate support to take advantage of his critical damage stacking buffs, like from his event buddy Will. But his damage modifier is a big plus that helps offset Nico's flaws. Like his critical damage down passive, not sure why it's still there, Happy Elements, do something about it please! As Nico's buffs are stackable ones, he benefits more from limit breaks compared to Will, whose critical rate buff works just fine even at level 60. It does make it a bit harder to slot this card into different teams who don't share the same buffing type, so keep this in mind when team building. Being introduced to the game a few years after Helios' debut in the mobile market limits what Nico can use as a support frame, but he still has some options available. Add another tally to the number of times I recommend the hunting frame, as it's a consistent way to put out more damage through normal attacks, especially with Nico's high stats as a 4-star card. His 4-star Gacha frame is flexible, allowing Nico to either support the main DPS ally or become the main DPS himself by providing special attack orbs and 3 levels of stackable critical rate up to 1 ally. For a free option, the 4-star frame farmable from the first Sing in the Darkness boss grants a stackable burst damage buff to all allies. Though the buff is only level 1, it's a reliable and accessible option for players who don't have the previous frame. Spring Hanami set are beginner friendly, and a pair and link skill combo is a better choice than link skills that lead to characters outside of Heroes sector. I honestly hope that pair links are used more often for event sets with heroes from different sectors, especially for survive events, which strongly encourage pulling both event heroes to counter the boss's gimmick. While I personally didn't really need these cards, they were just so cute that I couldn't help myself from rolling. So don't let gameplay stop you if you really think they're that cute or they're the one for you. That's all for this video. If you enjoy the content, please consider subscribing to the channel. Otherwise, I'll see you all in the next video.